The Render token has been one of the best performing altcoins since the beginning of the bull market, and it is officially the biggest AI altcoin by market cap after a 3,500% run from the beginning of 2023, where it began at about 40 cents and currently sits at about 10.61. However, its all-time high did come in at about $13.50, which did mark the end of this initial run here that we saw for Render. Now, after about a month's period of consolidation, I do believe that Render is building a base and preparing for its next leg to the upside. And in this video, I want to talk about a couple of catalysts that I believe will push this altcoin to new all-time highs. Now, before we hop into the content, just a friendly reminder that I am not a financial advisor. I am simply here for your crypto news and entertainment purposes. And if you do enjoy the content, please consider hitting that sub and like button and turn that notification bell on so you can be notified when all of our latest videos go live on the channel. So without further ado, we are going to hop right into today's altcoin of discussion, and that's going to be Render. If you've been with the channel for a while, you know that this is my favorite AI altcoin, and we have been covering it since last year. Now, since the beginning of last year, this coin had about a 3,500% run. However, after the pullback that we have seen more recently, it's about a 2,700% run. So still a very impressive move for this token. And as it currently sits at about a $4.1 billion market cap, I do believe this coin is primed to make a fresh run for new highs. So in this video, I want to break down the upcoming catalyst for this token, two upcoming catalysts actually. One that just happened yesterday, one that's coming up, I believe it's like early next week. And I want to talk about this altcoin relative to Bitcoin, because I did see a very interesting statistic earlier this week or late last week that basically showed only 8 altcoins have hit their previous all-time high versus Bitcoin. I'm not too sure what the data is here to find these 8 altcoins. Maybe it's like the top 1 to 200. And Render is actually the first one on this list and is currently very close to its all-time highs versus Bitcoin. And you know, this altcoin has been showing a lot of strength, which is really why we have been covering it a lot on the channel and why I've been so bullish on this altcoin since last year. So we're going to get right into the upcoming catalyst, and that is going to be the Apple WWDC event that is set to take place on June 10th. Now, the big deal with this event is the fact that a lot of people are anticipating Apple to talk about AI. So there has been some concern in the market that Apple has fallen behind on AI, and he did say that he is going to comment on future plans. He said the company would break new ground on generative AI, adding that they believe it will unlock transformative opportunities for users. So there are some rumors circling about them introducing their own large language model LLM, potentially in talks with OpenAI. Initially it was Google, but now people are kind of anticipating that this will be in talks with OpenAI, potentially integrating it into their Safari, looking for generative AI, as well as potentially upgrading Siri. So I want to talk about Render in relation to Apple because they do have some connections. We've spoken prior about the launch of the Apple Vision Pro and how Octane X was one of the apps that was available on launch of the Apple Vision Pro. Octane X is the rendering platform that is powered by the Render network. Now, additionally, we did see last month when Apple actually showed off their new iPad with the new M4 chip. We did see them actually feature Octane X right here in this trailer, okay? So if we zoom in, that is the Render icon right there. That is the Render icon over there. You can kind of see it on the Cherry as well. And yeah, this is Octane X powered by the Render network. Now, additionally, if you actually go ahead and look at the new Apple iPad M4, a lot of these initial images are shots from Octane X, okay? So these are all images that are powered on the platform, powered by the Render network on the back end. And the last time that there was an Apple WWDC event, we did see Render go on a nice run up into the event. This was basically based on the hype that there was going to be some sort of integration with the render network for the Apple Vision Pro. That did end up being true. After that event took place, we did see a sell the news event where this token dropped from 270 down to $137, so about a 50% decline. And then from there, this thing proceeded to essentially 10x and go to about $13.50. So I do think that the Apple WWDC event, if they are talking about AI, if they are talking about rendering and any sort of AI applications for their devices, given the connections between Apple and the render network, I do think that this could act as a catalyst for render to make its way to the upside. Now, speaking of Apple, we also do need to kind of acknowledge the fact that yesterday, NVIDIA actually flipped Apple in market cap to become the second largest company in the world. Obviously, well, not obviously, but if you've been with the channel for a while, then you know that render does also have connections with Apple. We did speak about this on the channel. Jules Urbach spoke at the NVIDIA conference that happened earlier this year, and we know that Jules Urbach does have connections to Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA, that they have been working together or collaborating for over the past 10 years. And, it's not NVIDIA as much, but more so the fact that NVIDIA is kind of like the icon for AI at the moment. Like, if you want to know how hyped the market is about AI, you take a look at NVIDIA stock. And when we see NVIDIA becoming the second most valuable company in the world, going on a massive tear in the market here over the past year and a half, more or less, it definitely has been a very good run for this stock, signaling the strong demand for GPU and AI use cases. And funny enough, I mean, if we take a look at NVIDIA stock, right, let's take a look at it from the absolute bottom in October of 2022. The stock is up 990%. That is a crazy run for the stock to go on. I mean, it went from basically a 300 bill market cap up to 3 trill. So a huge run for this company in terms of its actual market cap gains. However, in terms of percentage based gains, render has, pretty much creamed NVIDIA. And, I mean, they've both been solid. If you picked either of them, congrats to you. You're up basically a lot of money here. But yeah, render has outperformed NVIDIA in that time period. So I think, obviously the first thing is the market cap, right? Like, NVIDIA went from 300 bill to over 3 trill. Render is still sitting at a $4 billion market cap after running up from about 100 and let's see right here. Yeah, about 100 million at the beginning of 2023. So, just something to think about. Render is still sitting here with a $4 billion market cap as the biggest AI altcoin in the crypto market, with connections to both Apple and NVIDIA. Now, I want to focus more specifically on crypto and kind of walk you through this tweet. So, since the fall of FTX, only 8 coins have broken their previous all-time highs versus Bitcoin. This kind of surprised me as well, but the more you think about it, the more it does make sense. So I think the first key takeaway is that asset selection is crucial this cycle, more so than ever, especially if there is a retail liquidity injection event. It's likely that we keep experiencing specific sector outperformance, and we've seen that this cycle with memes, with AI, to real world assets to a smaller extent, coins like Ondo. Last bull run, you could basically throw your money at any of the top altcoins and outperform Bitcoin. This cycle, it has been punishing for being overexposed to certain sectors, so Layer 2's gaming. And yeah, literally, as we just said, rewarded for being exposed to other sectors, memes, AI, and RWA. Crypto is an attention economy. The money flows where the attention goes. So I do think you have to be more selective with your altcoins this time around. I myself have been personally, and that's why I don't really cover a huge variety of altcoins. I am looking at the altcoins that are showing the most strength, not only on their USD pair, but also on their Bitcoin pair. And that's why we cover Render so frequently, because it has been a consistent outperformer. And let's actually take a look at Render on its Bitcoin pair. So we can go ahead and take a look at this right now. Let's zoom in here. Yeah, you can basically see that this coin is about, how far off it is it all? It's about 25% off its all-time high versus Bitcoin. Actually currently testing the 2021 all-time high versus Bitcoin, but you can see here, like, it's been in a pretty solid uptrend versus BTC from the beginning of the bull run. And if we measure the performance here, it's about a 556% increase over Bitcoin, which means that, you know, had you bought Render at the beginning of 2023 instead of Bitcoin, it would be up 556% more. Obviously, I've been buying both Render and Bitcoin. You know, I do hold a lot of Bitcoin and ETH, but when it comes to altcoins, I am looking for ones that show strength relative to those two, mainly Bitcoin. And Render does fit that bill. I do expect this outperformance to continue given the hype around AI, and also just given the changes the Render network has made since the beginning of the bull market, the burn mint equilibrium, the transition into offering their decentralized GPU fleet, basically moving away from only content creation and looking into large language models and other AI use cases. Now, to wrap things up, I do want to take a look at the USD chart. And the one thing I'm really noticing here, if we take a look at the past month, is that this coin has formed a very solid base at the $10 level. To me, this makes a lot of sense. I often say that those round numbers, they do tend to act as pretty strong areas of support and resistance, you know, 10, 50, 100, numbers like that. So I'm not shocked that Render has been holding that double-digit line fairly well, still chilling above its 2021 all-time high. And yeah, if we are able to hold this, if the market does remain bullish here, you know, both the crypto side of things and the stock market, specifically NVDA, then I do believe this coin is primed to make another run back up to all-time highs. Now, it's worth noting that an NVIDIA stock split is coming up. I believe it's later this week or early next week. And, you know, potentially NVIDIA is running into that event and then it is going to sell off following the split. If that's the case, if Render does actually fall here, I mean, we have the bull market support band curling back up to the 2021 high at 880, even a back test of that prior level, which would represent a decline of about 17% from here, but a back test of that actual, you know, previous all-time high, validating the bull market support band, and then a move back up would also be very bullish in my opinion. So that's what I'm looking at when it comes to the Render network. Let me know what you think about this altcoin in the comments down below. And on that note, I hope you did enjoy the content in today's video. I hope you are all staying happy, safe, and healthy, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Peace out for now.